Try this again. So, keeping it real. Why did you start in martial arts? A lot of us instructors are not passionate anymore. You lost your desire. You use the excuse of that I'm old, I'm retired, and so on and so forth. That's bullcrap. Keeping it real. Jack LaLanne never retired until the last day he worked out. When it comes down to it, you want to lead by example. Now, some of you teach martial arts, but you have a sparring curriculum that is really suspect. You know, the repositions, and the angles are almost non-existent. And you got to raise your standards, right? Now, leading by example is key. Rec suits, I created that. Fontenay's martial arts, I created that. Why? A lot of the things that I was taught just weren't applicable when it came to having fun. Karate goes from cool to corny in about 30 seconds when you're 13 to 14 years old, just when you start going out with some girls. And I made it cool by having my school become basically a clique, a posse, a crew, with their own colors. So we had teenagers hanging out and having a wonderful time. But the energy and the positive affirmations was something that had to be urbanized, so to speak. So my commitment is to share my information with school owners because it's all about us, all of us. There's no competition between schools. The competition is against the streets and the way they organize things out there between the teenagers. Martial artists with real good intentions a lot of times are nipping their own nose to spite their face. You have to learn techniques of business from the people who are successful. And there's a lot of information out there, guys. The more you learn, the more you earn. Now, most of us cannot have any more than anywhere between 150 and 250 students comfortably in your place in order to be successful. And you got thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people in New York alone, not counting other areas. So raise your standards, guys. Don't get lazy. Don't rest on your laurels. Don't make freaking excuses. You know, if you look like a skinny sumo, you know, get yourself in physical shape and healthy. I mean, keeping it real. Some of us, and I gotta say us because I personally am not in the best physical shape in my life right now, and I am not making any excuses. What I'm doing is I'm going to teaching from the front, not just talking. Talking sounds good, but when you're actually exercising and you lead by example, man, it's so much fun. Think about why you started martial arts. I didn't start because I was getting beat up in the Bronx. Most of us were the actual bullies themselves. Not that I was a bully buster, but my point is that it's not about scare tactics and things like that. I don't want my children to be fighting, but if they do have to protect themselves, it should be stuff that works. Okay, so my point is that someone just said to me, why are you doing this? You're 51, you're retired, you've done a lot of stuff. So what? So what? Raise your standards with no excuses. I'm sick and tired of my friends literally making excuses of why they are not